So next important bit is Java parameterized constructor. दिसतंय का सगळ्या स्क्रीन? सो इथे माझ्याकडे प्रॉब्लेम दिसायला लागलाय. दिसतं स्क्रीन?
हो सर, दिसायला लागली.
Okay. So already yesterday we learned a default constructor. Okay. So there is no parameter. That's why it is called as what? Default constructor. So with parameter, that is called as Java parameterized constructor. So we can pass the values. So that's what is called as parameterized constructor. So a definition, we can say that a constructor which has a specific number of parameters is called as parameterized constructor. If we specific number we can use within the constructor, and we can assign n number of parameters also we can pass using through the parameterized constructor. So by default, Java supports default and parameter constructors. So by default, it is that is called as default constructor. Okay. So why use the parameterized constructor? Because the parameterized constructor is used to provide different values to different objects or distinct objects. So however, you can provide the same values also. We can use int also, we can use float int also, we can use float also. We can use the same type of different types of values also we can use. So let us see with the syntax. Here you see the name of the class, parameterized name or different parameters and the values of that particular parameters. So for example, here we use the class name is student or the constructor name is student, and here we pass the two parameters. One is within the string, another one within the integer. So int we can use here I, a string for it is used, we can use n, and here we pass the data of that particular constructor also. So let us see with the example how we can pass the parameterized constructor using through Java programming languages. Suppose here we use one class. That class has two parameters. Okay, so their class here we use two parameters. One here we use ID and another one here we use name. So these two data members, and when we create here one class or here we create one constructor, so class name and constructor must be same. So that's why it is called as constructor, and in this constructor here we pass two parameters. One is we can use int I, another one we can use here string n. So I we can assign ID and n we can assign name. So that's why I represent ID and n represent name also here. Okay, so in this example we can create one display example or one we can create a display function for the displaying the purpose of values. For the displaying purpose of values, we want to use function display function. Okay, so here in this example also we can use we want to display function, we want to print in this display function ID and name of that particular students. So in the main function we can create two objects, one is S1 and another one is S2. So in the S1 we can create a student, the roll number is 111 and the name of that student is Karan. Okay, so another one we can here create a student S2 object, he can here we use S2, and in this student we pass the roll number, second student is 222 and the name of the student is here we pass Aryan. Okay, so ID is here 111 and the first student will be here Karan, and after that here we use another one student 222 and that the student name is will be here we can use Aryan. Okay, so in this example we want to call the functions. Okay, so in this example we want to call the functions. So here we created two objects, one is S1 function, one is S1 dot display function, another one we can use here just dot display function. So display function we want to call, that's why here we use object dot function name. Okay, so object here we use two object, one is S1, another one is S2. So that's why here we can call first one S1 and S1 dot display. So S1 values we can display here 111 current, and after that S2 value can display here with the name of Aryan. Okay, so when we execute this program, the value will be here displayed 111 current and another one here display 222 Aryan. Okay, so that's why here we can say that a parameterized constructor. So in the constructor we can pass two parameters. One is integer type, another one will be string type. Okay. So another one important bit in Java that is called as constructor overloading. Okay. So last 5 years are continuously asked in the question paper. Define constructor, explain constructor overloading in Java. Okay, continuously ask, define constructor, explain constructor overloading in Java. Okay, so in this example, here we can mainly see the what is meant by overloading, and after that how we can overload the constructor. So in Java, a constructor is just like a method, but without return type, it can also be overloaded like a Java methods. We already seen in the first or second lecture, we can overload the methods or we can overload the class. Same like here, we can overload the constructors also. So constructor overloading in Java, it is a technique of having more than one constructor with the different parameter list we can here use for the purpose of constructor overloading. Okay, so here in this example, we can arrange the values in such a way that each constructor performs a different task. So they are differentiated by the, when we can compile the program, that time compiler the check the number of parameters in the list and their types, and then the constructor will be overloaded. Okay. So Java मधला अजून एक महत्त्वाचा जो पार्ट आहे तो म्हणजे कन्स्ट्रक्टर ओव्हरलोडिंग. मगाशी आपण जे बघितलं होतं तो कन्स्ट्रक्टर मधला दुसरा जो पार्ट होता पॅरामीटराइज कन्स्ट्रक्टर. ओके, सो पॅरामीटराइज कन्स्ट्रक्टर मध्ये आपण बघितलेलं आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये दोन पॅरामीटर असेल तर आपण यूज करू शकतो. Okay, so we can use the parameterized constructor. So here we can use I have one meeting. I will lecture start within the 10 minutes. Okay, so I have sent one example. Please share your screen.